whenever a new product is created, I want something to happen. If you want something to be automatically performed by the system, when a record is created, there are two choices. One is workflow, other one is trigger. Using workflow, you can only make field update. Using workflow, you cannot make a web service call. Now you want some automated action. In how many ways I can perform the automated action? Go with a workflow rule or a trigger. Workflow rules are the automated actions which are performed whenever a record is created or record is modified. Triggers are the automated actions which are performed when a record is created, modified or deleted or undeleted. Now, which one I have to choose? You have two choices. One is workflow, other is trigger. Which one you have to choose? Both of them are automated process only. Both of them are automated process only. Which one you have to choose? Which one you have to choose? The first choice. If I choose the workflow, using a workflow, you can only make a field update. You cannot run any Apex class or web service program. So workflow is not a suitable option. Then what is the other option we have? Triggers. So we need to make a web service call from a trigger. Right, boss? So let us see. I am trying to create a web service from a trigger. What is the object? Product info. Trigger. On which object? Product info object. Okay. Should I take a before or after? I will take after. Because once the record is created, at that moment, what is the price that is there? The price that is saved, then I want to make a web service call. Right, I am taking after itself. I will tell you why I am taking after itself. Let me finish. Okay. Then I want to create a web service call. I am trying to make a web service call for product info. Every new record I will take and I have to convert it. So what I am doing, first I want to make a web service call. How do you make a web service call? Request dot set. I am making some web service call to the third party system. They have given this is an endpoint URL. So let me take. Let me give it in this way. String URL equal to like question mark. Then URL equal to URL plus. Because they told the method is a get method, I am passing my value. Right now, I am passing hard-coded value because we are not doing a web service program. It's only to demonstrate a trigger with web service. I am just giving hard-coded value. Then they ask me, you want to convert in the form of what? Convert in the form of currency equal to INR and source equal to. Then they have one more point, that is format equal to 1. Okay. Then I'm going to make request dot set endpoint URL. Set endpoint, I have given endpoint. Then request dot set method, get method. Then send the request, get the response. V dot send. Then we go to the response. First, let us finish off this. Now, when you are trying to make a web service call from a trigger, what is the problem that we have? What is the problem that we have? I'm trying to make a web service call from the trigger. What is the problem that we have? First, let me register this URL with the remote site setting. Why something should be registered with the remote site setting? Any external system with which you are trying to communicate. If you are trying to communicate with any external system, it is a must that it should be registered with the remote site setting. Only the systems, only the servers or the applications which are registered with remote site setting, only they can be communicated from the Salesforce. Any third-party system you want to communicate, that should be registered with the remote site setting. Right, boss? I create a small web service. Go to the product info. Create a new product info. Product name. Tell price 40. Problem came. What is the problem came? They told system.callout from the trigger is not currently supported. That means you are not actually allowed to write a web service call from a trigger. Why you are not allowed to write a web service call? Trigger is you already clicked on the save button. Record is about to save. Then you made a call to third-party system. If third-party system takes 20 seconds to give a response, then your trigger has to be halted for 20 seconds. The trigger has to be halted for 20 seconds. I told any long-running operations that you are doing, trigger should be automated operation performed with the system at the back end. You already clicked on the save. The system is running the logic in the trigger. But if the logic is taking more time, the entire trigger operation will be taking more time. It will give the performance issue. That is the reason. Trigger says, I don't support any synchronous web service call. I will not support any synchronous web service call, which means you cannot call a web service from the trigger directly. I give a statement. Trigger will not support synchronous web service call. That means it will support asynchronous web service call. But how do you run the operation as asynchronous? Trigger is supported in the trigger is going to support asynchronous web service call. So how to make this web service as asynchronous? If you want any operation to run asynchronous, we need to define a feature with it. We need to define a feature with it. So what I am doing, this web service, whatever you give, this I am running like a how do you define? If you want to call a web service from a future method at the rate of future, call out equal to. Within the future method, if you want to make a web service, you have to give at the rate of call out equal to 2. Every future method should be static. Void. Calculate. Now the question is, you are making a call, fine. Using the whatever the records which you have inserted, using those records, we need to manipulate. Whatever the records you have inserted, I need to calculate the values of it. But the problem is, I need to pass the list of new records which are inserted. If you pass those records to the future method, then make a web service for the third party. With that result, it is going to convert the data. But the problem is, you cannot give list of. You pass the list of new records. Then I can take one by one product. Then find out the dollar rate, dollar value, convert the dollar into rupees. But the unfortunate thing is you cannot pass list of S object. As you cannot pass the list of object, then what is the solution? Unless you pass me the list of records, I cannot modify. What is the purpose of this? Make a web service call, find out 1 rupee equal how many dollars, then open the record, find out what is the price. Price is $40. So $40 into 64 rupees displayed. I need to update the records. The record which you inserted, get those records. Okay, get the 1 rupee equal how many dollars. Update the record with the Indian rupees. But the problem is, if you want to update, I need to pass the list of records. But future method is not going to accept the list of records. Then what is the other choice? Then we got an error message. What is the error message? Future doesn't support parameter type as list of S object. Then what is the solution we have? The solution what I have is, don't pass the list of S object, pass the list of IDs. Don't pass the list of record, pass list of only IDs. Yesterday we discussed. ID is a primitive data type. Don't pass the list of record, pass only list of IDs. How can you pass the list of IDs? If it is after insert, map of ID comma map equal to, you can see list of set of ID equal to trigger dot old map dot trigger dot new map dot. We have new map. We have a new map. Yes, we have a new map. Why? Why is the new map? It is after insert. It is after insert. Because it is after insert, records are already saved. If record is saved, we have an ID of the record. If record ID is there, we have record of new map. That is the reason I have taken after insert. That is the reason I have taken after insert. If you want to modify, listen to the requirement first. You created a record. You created a record. Trigger is firing. Trigger is calling future method. Do you know when it is going to execute? Do you know when it is going to execute? Any asynchronous job is added to the queue. In the queue, when it is going to execute, I am not sure. It is asynchronous job. Job is added to the queue. It may run instantly. It may run after 10 minutes. It may run after 1 hour. It may run after 24 hours. I am not sure. When it is running, it has to find out the records. What are inserted? Take those records, modify those records. If I take before insert, what happened? Record will be inserted, trigger will run after some time. But when trigger runs, are you getting my point here? People are able to follow. If it is a before insert, I don't have record ID. When you don't have record ID, which record I have to update? Because feature method is not going to run right now. Feature method may run right now or after 10 minutes. Suppose your feature method is running after 10 minutes, how does it know which record it has to update? If you provide the record ID, I know these are the records which I have to update. If you don't provide me the record ID, how do I know which records I have to update? Then there is a problem. That is the reason I am taking after insert. When you take after insert, we get a record ID. So we are passing the ID of the records which you need to update. Then future method, you run whatever the time you want. These are the list of records which you need to update. Are you clear about this? People have followed? Then we are passing. So I am passing here. So tell me what are the drawbacks that we encoded here. First thing is, when you are trying to write a web service in the feature method, we have to give column equal to 2. Second thing is, we cannot pass S object. So obviously I have to pass IDs. If you want to pass IDs, we need to get the list of IDs of the record. When do I get the list of IDs? Only after insert. That is the reason after insert trigger, we got the list of record IDs, pass those list of record IDs, then it make a web service call, get the response. Now when you are making a web service call, find out what is the format of your response. Response is coming okay. Is it a JSON or XML? What type of response we are getting? Is the web service call is running properly or not? Let me check it out. This is only to understand the purpose of feature was. I know that we are not covered the web services, but is to understand the purpose of feature. Then the value was coming as what? USD. Right, okay. Now I need to parse the data. The data was coming, we need to parse the data. If you want to parse the data, we need to use some JSON. So we got some price. Finally, what is the current price we got it. Then what I'm going to do, write a SQL query, list of again I'm mentioning the context here is not web service. The context here is, can we call it call out from the figure out. Don't worry about what is the web service call I made. Total amount. Some spelling mistake here. So once you got the data, I need to update it. How do you update it? For so p dot price p dot quantity into cost. The cost is 1 rupee. Okay, $1 equal to how many rupees? The price is in dollars. $1 into number of rupees. Then I'm going to update it. D1 dot total price equal to rupees. Then update. This was the story, boss. So what was the question here? I have an intention of making a web service call from a trigger. I made a call, trigger thrown error message. You cannot call a web service call from me. Then ask, is there any other alternative? Yes. You can call the future method. You can call it future method. So trigger is going to support asynchronous web service. So I have to call the web service from future method. As the trigger support asynchronous web service call, I am calling the web service from a future method. But the feature says I will not accept a list of S object. I will pass a list of IDs only. But if you want to get the list of IDs, it cannot be a before trigger. It should be a after trigger. Why? Because the feature may run at any instant. I don't know when it is going to run. That is the reason we are making what? After. When you get an after trigger, we are going to get a list of IDs. Those list of IDs, if you pass to the future method is making a call to third party system, getting $1 equal to how many rupees? Based on the IDs what you passed, fetching those records, modifying the records, updating the records. Right. So what is the purpose of future method? Tell me now. What is the purpose of future method? Future method is used to call web services from the triggers. Okay. Generally, everybody will give a requirement. Somebody asks you, tell me one scenario. Everybody will say mixed email exception. Everyone will say the same example. Tell me one example, mixed email exception. Right? Google verify the Google also. Okay. 99.999%. Everyone say mixed email exception. Okay. So your solution should be invoking a web services from the trigger. From the trigger, invoking a web services from the trigger is other use of future method. Other use of future method. Right. Now go back to the record now. Previously, one record has thrown error message, right? There is an error message. This is error message. Now save it. Now, total price is not calculated. Why? Trigger completed. Future is running separately. Trigger record is already saved. Future is running separately because this is asynchronous. It is running separately. Now, when the future is completed, now we got it. Did you get my point? So trigger is running separately, future is running separately. So trigger completed, future still not completed. After the feature is completed, we got a data. The total price is 25,864 rupees. $400 into 64 rupees. People have followed, right? So the question here is, once again, can we call a web service from a trigger? Trigger will not support synchronous web services. So what is the solution that we have? Okay, calling the web service like asynchronous. How do you call a web service asynchronously? Define the web service program in the future. If you want to define a web service in the future, how do you define? At the rate of future, call out equal to true. At the rate of future, call out equal to true. Fine. Then, should I take a before trigger or after trigger? Preferably after trigger. So that no dependencies will be there. Then, if you want the records which are inserted, they need to be modified. Then I need the IDs of the records to be passed. Why IDs should be passed? As the feature method is not going to accept, S object, I am passing the IDs of the records. Right, boss? So, what is the purpose of feature method? They are used to handle the long running operation. Name some of the long running operation, bulk table operations, web service calls, calling the web service from the trigger, calling the web service from the schedule effects. We are going to use feature. These are going to be the purpose of the feature. Can I call a feature method within a feature method? Can I call a feature method within a feature method? No. Can I call a feature method within a feature method? No. Right. Is the feature method is going to give the job ID? No. Then how do you find out the status of the job? Write a SQL query on, async apex job object. Write a SQL query on, async apex job object. Then we will be finding out the status. What is the other way of finding the status? Setup, monitor, jobs, apex jobs. We can find out the feature is called. The name of the feature is feature web call. Calculate method. Are you clear about this? I hope you have covered all the points of the feature now. Right? So, whatever the hard copy that I have given, just open the hard copy. Where is this hard copy from my side? Okay. So what I have mentioned, future method. If a transaction has any long running operations or statements, and if this operation is not having any dependency on the rest of the transaction or the operation, we can run that operation independently from the rest of the transaction. Then we go for a feature. When do you go for a feature? When you want to handle a long running. Name some of the long running operation, web service calls, bulk table operation. Rules to define the feature method. All the feature methods should have at the rate of future. All the feature methods should be static. All the feature methods should have void as runtime. Only primitive parameters are accepted in the feature method. Okay, why they are not accepted? Why S objects are not accepted? Because the future jobs are not going to run instantly. They are added to the queue. We don't know when they are going to be executed. That is the reason state of the data is not maintained between the features. Okay. Then if you want to invoke a web service, what we are going to do? At the rate of future, call out equal to. Any asynchronous job that is running in the Salesforce, that is registered with which object? Async apex job object. If you want to track the status of the feature method, what we do? Write a SQL query on async apex job object, or we can go with the setup, monitor, jobs, apex jobs. Right. Now there is one more advantage of feature, but it is not a good practice. We can also improve governing limits. Using the feature, we can also improve the governing limits, but it will kill the performance of the application. It's not suggested, but we can also say this is one of the point generally that people don't. Okay, generally the people don't use it or don't remember it. But if there is a solution, this is one of the solutions for hitting the governing limits. I don't want to write a batch fetch, but still I want to resolve the issue. Then I can go with this. Now already I wrote a functionality in feature method. Then it is hitting the governing limits. Now I cannot convert the feature method operation to batch fetch again. Now I am running an operation. I had a governing limits issue. Now I have a span of only 5 minutes to resolve it. Again, I cannot re-implement an entire feature method using a batch fetch. It will take again hours together. Then what I will do? A quick solution is there, that is at the rate of future limits. We can increase the limits using future method. I'll tell you what is the purpose of it. Then I give you some example. Call me 1, call me 2. Similar type of example I give you. Then I told you mixed DML exception. What is a setup object? What is a non-setup object? How to resolve the mixed DML exception? First I give without resolving it. Second I give using a feature method how to resolve the mixed DML exception. First one I give without resolving it. Second I give how to resolve the issue with the feature method. Then what are the drawbacks of feature method? Feature method will not return job ID. Feature method cannot be called from another feature method. Feature method will not be supporting S object as parameter. Now, within a transaction, how many feature methods we can call? 50 feature methods. Within a transaction, how many feature methods we can call? 50 feature methods. What are the use cases? Where we use this feature method? What are the use cases where we use? To handle the mixed DML exception, to invoke asynchronous web services from trigger. To call asynchronous web services from trigger. To invoke asynchronous web services from schedule effects. To handle bulk table operation. What are the workaround cases? What are the workaround scenarios? Where the feature fails, how to handle the feature. One of the workaround scenarios is how to pass list of S object as a parameter. In the feature method, I want to pass list of S object. So what is the workaround process? Instead of passing the list of record, pass the list of IDs. The second workaround process is serialize the data. Instead of setting the list of S object, use the JSON or XML. Convert the list of records into JSON string. So the complete list of records is converted into string. Pass it. Convert the list of records into XML string. So use serialize the data in the form of JSON or XML. When you convert into JSON or XML, it will become a single string. String is again what? Primitive data type. By serializing the data in the form of JSON or XML, we can resolve the issue. I hope all the points are covered. Clear for everyone? Right, Emma? People are clear with this example? Clear for everyone? Okay. Now, when there is a drawback with the feature, obviously the alternate concept will come. What is the alternate concept? Qubable effects. What is the alternate solution? Qubable effects. What is the alternate solution? Qubable effects. Right. So what is this qubable effects? Future of any queries regarding the feature? People have got the theme of the story? Everyone is comfortable with that? Okay. Yeah. Any query? Sure. Let us go to the qubable effects. Next concept. Qubable effects. Qubable effects is also one of the asynchronous operations. Qubable effects is also one of the asynchronous operations. But before we go with the qubable, we need to know some of the concept called interface. We need to know what is an interface, how to use these interfaces. For the qubable effects, we are going to use a concept called interface. We are going to use a concept called interface. Now, look at the point. Let's understand the theme of it. Then we'll come back to the technical terms. Let's have a general idea about what is interface, how it understand the story. Understand the story. Then we'll come back to the technical points. Let us see. There is a guide. Understand the theme, the general story. Now, look at this. These are boys. Let's say boyfriends. These are girlfriends. Understand the theme. Okay. Now, if you are a boyfriend, there are some services you have to do. It is a mandatory. Every boyfriend has to provide some mandatory services. What are the mandatory services, boss? What are the mandatory services? Okay. Shopping. Boyfriends will not have money, boss. So, shopping, movies, restaurants. These are some of the services everybody has to provide. If you have a brand called boyfriend, then you are supposed to have the following services. How you provide these services is your choice. You may go for PVR, you may go for some in-orbit mall, you may go with some XYZ. Where you go, how you provide is your choice. You may give credit card and ask them to go for a shopping. You may give cash and ask them to go for a shopping. Or you may go along with them and you get the shopping. Now, how you provide is not important. But it is mandatory that you have to provide this service. So what is this? If anybody is saying that he is a boyfriend, he has to provide some of the services. Are you ready? Now, let it be Sham or Ram. When Sham say I am a boyfriend for XYZ girl, then what is that? Sham is implementing 3 services. What are the 3 services? Shopping, movies, restaurant. If Ravi says I am a boyfriend for XYZ, then he is also providing what? 3 services. So when you say you are a boyfriend, you have to provide 3 services. You have to provide. If I say, boss, I don't go for shopping, brand called boyfriend will be removed. Right? So, if you want to use the brand called boyfriend, you have to provide the services. So, what are the mandatory services? Now, this Sham is a Sham. What this Sham has done, Sham told boss, he is providing all the 3 services. He was supposed to provide, he was providing. But this Sham told boss, I will give my card. I will not be able to accompany, take my card and go for a shop. Then Ram told, boss, I will come along with you, I will accompany you, we will go for a shop. Now what is it? Both of them are providing the service called shopping, but it is up to the people. You have to provide the service, but how you provide is your choice. You have to provide the service, but how you provide is your choice. Are you getting my point? Anyone who implements an interface called boyfriend, they have to define shopping, movie, restaurant. Okay. Sham may define his own way, Ram may define his own way, but they have to define. Are you getting my point? So if anybody say interface, if you want to use an interface, the methods defined in the interface has to be redefined by the class. Any class who want to use an interface, the methods given in the interface has to be defined by you. Any class who want to use the interface, they have to define the methods which are given in the interface. So interface says only the method names. It will not say how. It will only say what I am providing. It will not say how I am providing. It is up to your choice how you provide. But if you are using, you have to define that method. Are you getting my point? Interface will have what? List of methods. Unimplemented methods. There is no body in the method. They simply say these are the methods. These are the services. The people who are using this interface, they have to define these methods. It is a must. Are you clear about this, sir? So interface is what? Collection of unimplemented methods. Did they say how to go for shopping? No. They told shopping is the service. How you provide? It's up to the Sham or up to the Ram. Are you clear about this point? Right. So what is interface? Interface is a collection of unimplemented methods. So who are going to define the methods? Class which is using this interface, they have to define the methods. Class who are using this interface, they have to define these methods. Are you clear? Now let us see. I am giving here interface. In this example, they told public void. So, are they defining the body of the method? They are not defining the body of the method. Name of the method only they are defined. So, this is interface. It is a collection of unimplemented method. What is the difference? If you define how the method should run, it is implemented. If you don't define how the method should run, it is unimplemented. Only method name is given, signature of the method is given, but the body of the method is not given. It is called unimplemented method. Interface will contain what? Unimplemented method. So, if a class, public class demo, If a class want to use that interface, it has to use what? Implements. If a class want to use interface, class implements interface. Class implements interface. If a class want to use interface, class implements interface. Class implements interface. If a class is implementing interface, it has to define the methods. Public void show. Right? Any class which is implementing an interface, it has to define all the methods in the interface. What all the methods that are there in the interface, they have to be implemented by the class. Do the people follow? The people follow? Interface is a collection of unimplemented methods. If a class want to use the interface, class implements interface. If a class is implementing an interface, all the methods in the interface has to be redefined. All the methods in the interface has to be redefined. Am I clear? Am I clear? Am I clear? People are clear with this? Right. Now, understand. If you want to run any FX class, like a Qbubble FX, if you want to run any FX class as asynchronous class, if you want to run any FX class like a QFX, Qbubble FX, if you want to run any FX class like I say, Qbubble FX, then the class has to implement a Qbubble interface. So the Salesforce has defined, Salesforce has defined interface. What is the interface that is defined by the Salesforce? Qbubble. So the Qbubble interface will have what? Methods, which are not defined. There is an interface called Qbubble interface, which is defined by the Salesforce. What is there in this interface? There is a method called void execute. There is an interface called Qbubble interface. If an FX class want to use this interface, what it has to do? It has to define executable. It has to define executable. Why an FX class want to use this interface? Why an FX class want to use this interface? If you want an FX class to run like a Qbubble FX, if you want an FX class to run like a Qbubble FX, Qbubble FX means what? Asynchronous operation. If you want an FX class to run like a Qbubble FX, the class has to implement a Qbubble interface. You want an FX class to run like a Qbubble FX, then the FX class has to implement an interface called Qbubble interface. If a class is implementing a Qbubble interface, it has to define a method called execute method. People are clear? People are clear? How to define a Qbubble FX? Class implements Qbubble interface. When a class becomes a Qbubble FX class, when a class becomes Qbubble FX, when a class implements a Qbubble interface, when a class implements a Qbubble interface, when a class implements a Qbubble interface, the FX class becomes a Qbubble FX class. If a class is implementing a Qbubble interface, what is the method it has to define? What is the method it has to define? Execute. If I don't define, what happens? Error. It's a must. It's a must. If you implement a interface, the methods in the interface has to be defined. The methods in the interface has to be defined, otherwise it is an error. Right on? So fine. People have followed this point. Now, how to define FX class as a Qbubble FX? Let us see the example, then we see plus and minus. 5. Okay. Class implements a Qbubble interface. If a class is implementing Qbubble interface, it has to define execute. If a class implements Qbubble interface, it has to define has to define execute method. If a class implements a tuple interface, it has to define a method called execute method. Right. Now look at the format. Now look at the format. What is the bug here? Queueable. Spelling mistake. Class implements queueable. Right. Now, whatever the operation you want to run like asynchronous, define that operation within the class. Now, what I want to do, simply I want to delete all the records which are created in the last 2 weeks. Less than last. All the records which are created in the last 2 weeks, I want to delete. So the logic which you want to run like asynchronous, that should be defined within execute. So if you want to run any FX class like a queueable FX, class implements queueable interface, that has to define a method called execute. Then how do you run this? This is only class. How do you run this? First create an object for that class. Create an object. Once you create an object, ID, job ID equal to system dot enqueue job, object of the class which implemented queueable interface. Queue example, first create the object for the class which implemented queueable interface. Create the object for the class which implemented queueable interface. Now we are going to execute system.enqueue job object. Then execute it. When you execute it, what you are getting here? ID of the job you are getting. Are we getting the ID of the job in the future? No. Queueable is giving ID of the job. One of the advantages. Execute. When execute, automatically what happens? Job is registered with the async fx job object. Then deletion failed. Deletion failed because of last 2 week records. Again, let me run it again. So it is running as atomic. If any one of the record fails, the entire operation fails because it is atomic. So the operation failed. Again, the operation failed. What is that? Deletion failed. So it has some change records using a lookup relation. So it is not able to delete it. Some cases are there which are not closed. So what is the other solution I have? Database dot delete. When I say database dot delete, if any one of the records are deletable, let them delete. If they are not deletable, leave them. Right, boss? So I am going back. Execute. When you click on execute, go back. There are some records, queueable. Now tell me what is the mistake I have done here. So go back again, run it again. So what happened? Queueable. So once you register, once you are running a queueable job, that is registered with what? Async fx Java object. Then we can write a query and get it. But when you are running this operation, we are getting the job ID. Am I right? Whenever we execute, what we are getting here? Job ID. The basic structure is clear. The basic structure is clear. We'll discuss the key points. Structure is clear. Class implements tuple. Any class which implements tuple, it has to define execute. Logic is defined within the execute. How do you execute? Create an object for the class. System.enqueue job. Name okay. Object of the class which implemented queue. Process is clear. Process is clear. People are clear. Then create an example. Create a class. Create a class. Account. Create a class. Account deletion. Create a tuple effects class. Create a tuple effects class. Account deletion. Which will delete all the records. Which will delete all the records created today. Create a effects class. Account deletion. Which will run like a tuple effects. Create a effects class. Account deletion. Account deletion. Which will fetch all the records which are created today and delete them. Create a effects class. Which will fetch all the account records which are created today and delete them. You should define them like a tuple effects. Define them like a tuple effects.